Today I want to discuss the cell structure and function. So the basic structure I'm going to talk about is the animal cell. The animal cell looks like this. There's an outer membrane, which we call the cell membrane. The cell membrane is made up of a double layer of lipids, so we call it bilipid layer. And it is semi-permeable, meaning it allows only certain things to go in and out of the cell. We have the nucleus, which contains the DNA, and the DNA is the genetic material of the organism. Around the nucleus, we have a structure that looks like this. With some fine particles on it. These particles are the ribosomes. Ribosomes are involved in protein synthesis. And the structures on which they are located are known as the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Rough because of the presence of the ribosomes on the surface. So if there's a rough one, it means that there should be a smooth one, right? So one that hasn't got ribosomes on the surface. So this will be the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Usually we say ER for short. So rough ER and then a smooth ER. The rough ER, the function is to transport proteins within the cell. So the proteins that are synthesized by the ribosomes are transported by the rough endoplasmic reticulum. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum, the function is to synthesize lipids, so lipid synthesis. So we see a structure that has a lot of smooth endoplasmic reticulum in it, then that structure is evolved in lipid synthesis, right? Then we have a sausage-shaped structure known as the Mitochondrion. Mitochondrion, plural mitochondria. Mitochondrion, the function is to produce ATP. ATP, that's a powerhouse. So mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell. So respiration occurs within the mitochondrion. Respiration. And we store our energy in the form of ATP. So if you see a question that has mitochondrion, think about respiration. Anything with ATP, mitochondrion. Okay, don't forget that. Anything that has to do with protein synthesis, then you're talking about the ribosomes. Remember, ribosomes, protein synthesis. Nucleus, DNA. So if you see DNA somewhere in the question, genetic process, think of nucleus, and so on. Okay. Then you have other structures like the lysosomes. Lysosome. Lysosome contains enzymes that break down substances in the cell. So we say that it contains hydrolytic enzymes, or you can say digestive enzymes. So they break down substances within the cell. Okay. And then we have the Golgi Apparatus. The Golgi Apparatus. Some people call it Golgi bodies or apparatus. The function of the Golgi apparatus is to package protein before they leave the cell. So some of the proteins that are formed, you have glycogen, you have, let's say, carbohydrate added to it, so it will be known as glycoprotein, or lipid added to it becomes lipoprotein, right? Because some of the proteins have to become enzymes, immunoglobulins, and other things. So before they leave the cell, something has to be added to them before they leave the cell. So the Golgi apparatus is the packaging center. The packaging center for the cell. Proteins are packaged before they leave the cell. So you can say the packaging center, for proteins. All right. So this is how you can remember the basic structure of the cell for your exam. Okay, Golgi apparatus, packaging of proteins, lysosomes, hydrolytic enzymes, endoplasmic reticulum, synthesis of lipid, rough endoplasmic reticulum transport protein within the cell, ribosomes, protein synthesis, nucleus, DNA, mitochondrion has to do with respiration, ATP. Remember these basic things for questions on the cell structure and function. Now, all these structures are known as organelles, okay, organelles within the cell, small organs in the cell, because organelles, all right, and the organelles are within the matrix here, or this place known as cytoplasm, okay. So the cell membrane encloses the cytoplasm, okay, right.